Y'all can clap if you want, or clap, snap, whatever. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. So stop your sighing, be happy again, keep on smiling. 'Cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Take it away, guys.
We're smiling with you, Christina Brewer. Well, as you can tell, Christina has a beautiful, soulful voice, and it's such a pleasure to have you here. And Christina's my friend. She's a wonderful mom, and so welcome. And welcome to the light and love that is Unity of South Sound. My name is Anita Landry, and it's my joy to welcome you here this morning. If you have any questions, concerns, or joys to share, you can contact our office during business hours or visit our website at unityofsouthsound.org. And at this time, we'd like to invite you to place your cell phones on silent. Now we invite you to relax, reconnect, and center in the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in saying our opening affirmation? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. Our mission statement: inspired by the divine, as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. Our vision statement: present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values: we are love, joy, abundance, spirit guided. And now Reverend Megan will lead us in an opening prayer.
Good morning. Well, I'm glad that so many of you found a way to spring forward and be here today. And imagine that maybe we have a greater online audience, I don't know. I know my body was like, oh, are you sure this is the time to get up? But the good news is, because we spring forward, that means spring is just around the corner, like what, in 9 days? So we should start seeing new life, new energy, and there's much to celebrate. And St. Patrick's Day is coming up Friday, right? So we take all of this energy, all of this life, and as today we look at forgiveness, I forgive you that are not here today. So I know we are doing some self-care, which I will be talking about as a good forgiveness act. So we light the light that we are, and we take a moment to just breathe it in. I am the light, I am the love, I am the wisdom of the divinity within me. And as I align with that, with every breath I take, I know the truth of who I am, and I love myself just the way I am. I take in a deep breath and I feel that vibration of life that is active in and through and as me, as it blesses me. And I realize that that is a blessing that is happening with every being on this planet, with every breath they take. And so we honor that blessing for each other. We take a moment to know that wherever we are in this moment, we have everything we need. And know I am one with the presence and the power of that ceaseless, restless, creative energy of life we call God. And we celebrate that. And so it is. Amen.
Now I invite you to stand if you're able and join with Joey Sandal-Hill in our congregational songs.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, makes all things new, needing us to shine its light as me has used. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. Here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me has used. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Now is the time when we get to greet each other with a namaste greeting. If you feel comfortable, you can give an elbow bump, or we invite you to place your hands together and say, Namaste. I behold the divinity you are. Namaste.
I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. You are free, you are unlimited. There are no chains that bind you. You are free, you are unlimited. Right now, right now. You are free, you are unlimited. There are no chains that bind you. You are free, you are unlimited. Right now, right now. We are free, we are unlimited. There are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited. Right now, right now. We are free, we are unlimited. There are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited. Right now, now.
The inspirational reading for this morning is from the Daily Word from February 24th, 1983. The word is forgiveness. Forgiving and forgiven, I begin on a higher level of consciousness. Forgiving and forgiven, I begin again on a higher level of consciousness. Forgiveness keeps the flow of love unbroken between us and God. Forgiveness keeps the bond of love intact between us and other people. Forgiveness cleanses, purifies, and heals our hearts. Forgiveness brings freedom from unrest. Forgiveness sets our minds at peace. Forgiveness soothes our emotions, quiets inner turmoil. Forgiveness releases the highest and best in us. Forgiveness sets us free from condemnation of self or others. Forgiveness wipes the slate clean. Forgiving and forgiven, we begin again on a higher level of consciousness. Our soul rejoices that we are truly loving to God. We are truly learning to love as Jesus Christ taught us to love, to forgive as Jesus Christ taught us to forgive. From Luke 6:37, condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. And now Reverend Megan will lead us in a time of meditation.
I'm going to move this forward. So as we prepare for meditation, I'm going to lead you into a song, and I invite you to join me if you'd like to, The Face of God by Karen Drucker. And just to remember that we are each the face of that we call God. As you might want to look around and acknowledge that, to feel that, to know that, but also to know that I am the face of God. So we take that into our meditation time. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love. I am the face of God. I hold within my heart. I am a part of love. I am the face of God. I am the face of God. I am the face of God. And we just take this moment to let go of the world outside of us as we close our outer eye and take in a deep breath to know the vibration of who I am. And allow the vibration of the prayer bowl to take us deeper. So with every breath, feel it, opening your heart, letting go of the thoughts, and just feeling the moment. Breathe it in. Breathing in the vibration of love. Feel it. Notice where it goes in your body. Notice what it touches. Breathe in the vibration and then let it go. We breathe in the vibration of life that animates us, and we breathe out anything that is no longer useful. We breathe out whatever has already served us and is no longer necessary. And so with your next breath, allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into your heart space, to make that conscious shift from your mind into your heart, and to expand that heart space with your next breath. For within the intelligence of our heart, we find the place of peace and serenity, where we can experience healing and transformation. To know the truth that I am the face of God. I am the love that is God. And that love allows me to transform whatever pain I may be holding, what other resentment or anger, whatever energy that I'm holding around someone or something has done to me. Love will take it on and transform it for you right now. And that is an act of forgiveness. So as we move into a time of silence, I invite you to just notice the energy of anything you're holding in your heart that is not one with love, that is not one with your original self, your divine nature. And to thank it for how it served you, to honor it for what it is, to feel it, but to be willing to see it with new eyes. Perhaps there's a gift it offers you that can bless you. And maybe it's just shifting my energy to open my heart for living again as I release that energy and let it go. In the silence, love yourself. Breathe in, I am the face of God. And notice if there's any part of you that doesn't believe it. Forgive that part of yourself and send it love. And so as we come back into the realization of this moment in time, the physical energy we exchange with each other, come back with the affirmation, I am the face of God. And for everyone you see today, see them as you are the face of God. And perhaps see things from new eyes and know we are blessed and we open our eyes. And we see the face of God everywhere we look. And so it is. Amen.
Sometimes in our lives, there are labels that we take on that we choose to see as ourselves. Labels that don't serve us. Short story, when I was a little girl, I was kind of a preacher's kid. My babysitter was the pastor's wife of our church, a Pentecostal church. And I was in a girls' group called Missionettes, which is kind of like the Christian version of Girl Scouts. And my babysitter was the teacher of that class, and she decided one day that she was going to teach myself and the girls in our class the Christian version of sex ed without parent permission. And of course, the Christian version of sex ed is if you have sex before you're married, you're going to go to hell. Now, I'm adopted, and I was adopted into a musical family at 2 months old. We didn't know I was musical at that point in time. And one of the things that my babysitter said to myself and my classmates is, God forbid you have sex before marriage and you get pregnant. You will have a baby that is just like Christina and just like Dale. According to the Bible, they are, by definition, bastards. And there is nothing that, even the day that Christina stands in front of God, there will be nothing that she can do to change the fact that this is who she is, by definition. And I carried that with me into my teenage years, and it was really destructive. I became very destructive to my mind and my body, and I was a 2-time high school dropout that ended up graduating with honors. And once I decided that was not how I wanted to live my life, and I was really headed on a downward spiral and I didn't want anything to do with God, nothing. And then I had a really strong wake-up call and realized that the labels that we're given, they are not who we are. And that God loves us right now, today. God loves you right now, today, as you are. Not for who you have been, not for what you've done, and not for where you're going, but right now, in this very moment. He cries in the corner where nobody sees. He's the kid with the story no one would believe. He prays every night, dear God, won't you please? Won't you send someone here who will love me? Not for what I have done or what I will become, who will love me for me, 'cause nobody has shown me what love really means. Her office is shrinking a little each day. She's the woman whose husband has run away. She'll go to the gym after working today. Maybe if she she were thinner, then he would have stayed. And she says, who will love me for me, not for what I have done or what I will become. Who will love me for me, 'cause nobody has shown me what love really means. He's waiting to die as he sits all alone. He's a man in a cell who regrets what he's done. He utters a cry from the depths of his soul. Oh God, forgive me, I want to go home. Then he heard a voice somewhere deep inside. It says, I know you've murdered, and I know you've lied, and I've watched you suffer all of your life, and now that you're listening, I'll tell you that I will love you for you, not for what you have done or what you will become. I will love you for you. I will give you the love that you never knew. I will love you for you, not for what you have done or what you will become. I will love you for you. I will give you the love that you never knew. The love that you never knew. The love that you never knew.
Thank you. What a true blessing, and thank you for sharing your story. I really honor your journey, and what a beautiful example of how we can unintentionally hurt from a place of where we think what we're doing is the right thing. And as a child, to have to learn from that wound. And what a beautiful soul you are. Thank you. Okay, so I forgive you for unleashing my emotions and putting you in a place I did not plan to be in right now. But it's the gift in all things, right? Oh, so welcome to Unlimited Forgiveness. This is practice 3 in our series, Living Originally, Spiritual Practices to Transform Your Life, based on this book by Robert Brummett. Our first 2 practices that we have taken a look at, radical self-awareness and deep self-acceptance, are focused on self. Our last 2 practices that will be coming up in the next couple weeks are universal benevolence and compassionate communication, which are focused on interactions with others. Today's practice is significant because it involves both self and others. It's the transitional practice, and it includes the other practices. So today's practice is kind of like spiritual hokey pokey. You know, you put your whole self in, you turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. And it might feel like what life is about, but it kind of fits into the message today. And so we need both the first practices as a foundation for today's practice. If you missed the first 2 lessons, the talks are available on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel that you can get to through our website links. I encourage you to integrate these practices into your life because there is no time like the present to begin this life journey with a more intentional way. And right now is always the best time to integrate something new into your personal spiritual practice. And I suspect that's partly why you're here today. So it's important to realize that there are many stepwise processes for forgiveness. Pick the one that resonates with you, but today I'm going to share my perspective as I integrate the process that Reverend Brummett outlines in his book, as well as how it supports the teachings of unity within our movement. To know that forgiveness relies upon the unity concepts of the divinity within each of us. It should not be a new message to you. The power of our thoughts to create our experience, and the healing power of prayer, and of course, the practice of the principles that we know. And principles are those things that are in the absolute, that we know do not change, which is why we practice them to integrate them into our life. So let's begin exploring forgiveness. Forgiveness is a process in which we free ourselves to live originally. And I really appreciate what you shared, Anita, because it was the perfect segue into what we're talking about today. So it's about living from our own divine identity. That essence of who we are that we feel is elusive, but is our power. And so the process honestly has very little to do with anyone other than ourselves, even though we think it includes others. But it really is more of a self journey. So forgiveness is not about approving or disapproving of anyone's behavior, but the willingness to let go of condemnation, as Anita shared in her blessing this morning. The condemnation of a person rather than the behavior. It is not releasing responsibility for our actions. That's really important to know. Those are 2 separate issues. It's interesting to note that Fred Luskin in Forgive for Good, he's the head of Stanford's Forgiveness Project, in case you didn't know there was one. And he discovered that in careful scientific studies, forgiveness training has been shown to reduce depression, increase hopefulness, decrease anger, improve spiritual connection, increase emotional self-confidence, and help heal relationships. Good stuff, right? He also said learning to forgive is good for your mental and physical well-being and your relationships. Studies reveal people who are more forgiving report fewer health problems. Forgiveness leads to less stress. Forgiveness leads to fewer physical symptoms of stress. Failure to forgive may be more important than hostility as a risk factor for heart disease. People who blame other people for their troubles have higher incidences of illnesses such as cardiovascular disease and cancers. People who imagine not forgiving someone show negative changes in blood pressure, muscle tension, and immune response. People who imagine forgiving their offender note immediate improvement in their cardiovascular, muscular, and nervous systems. People even with devastating losses can learn to forgive and feel better psychologically and emotionally. And I know that for a fact. You know, if I looked at my life, I could justify all kinds of reasons to not forgive, to live in resentment and anger and shame and pain and hurt. You know, my father was an alcoholic. My mother was a narcissist. I had 4 sisters that were all over the map with their pain and unintentionally hurting each other. I had an abusive first marriage, the father of my children, who created anger issues within them, and it made it very difficult for healthy relationships. I had a sister that died by suicide. And as I've shared, I had a son that was murdered. All of those things could have kept me in a very dark place. But I learned that by forgiveness, I'm in a better place. According to Charles Fillmore and Revealing Word, forgiveness is a process of giving up the false for the true. Forgiveness really means the giving up of something. It is through forgiveness that true spiritual healing is accomplished, and forgiveness removes the errors of the mind, and bodily harmony results in alignment with divine law. It supports scientific evidence from the Forgiveness Project, right? And that sounds powerful. Do you want some of that? Yeah. So forgiveness is a part of the process of celebrating your wholeness. Did you know that? It's celebrating your wholeness. Forgiveness frees the good, the flow of good in your lives, and it is a part of our abundance experience, our abundance consciousness. We're going to take a deeper dive into that, actually, and seeing how forgiveness is a part of our abundance after Easter when we study the book by Edwin Gaines, The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. Forgiveness is one of those laws. So watch for news about that. We're going to do a class with it as well. So is forgiveness now beginning to sound a little more attractive? More important as a life practice? Yes? Yes. So what if I told you there is probably something to forgive every day? Before you say I'm very judgmental about you, think about how our first concept of self-awareness becomes a part of this process. Noticing the big and little ways that we judge ourselves and others throughout the day, perhaps, which leads to the need to forgive, which is simply healthy self-awareness. Because if I don't notice, then I can't do anything about it. So if I'm accepting of myself, my next question is, am I willing to forgive myself and others? My daily check-in question that I do every night is, who have I shut outside my heart today? Who have I shut outside my heart today? And then I know that there's some work to do, that I can release that energy before I take it into sleep. So usually something comes up, and I'm always involved in it. I'm always involved in it. So that's why I know there's forgiveness of self and others. It's a two-sided process. So let's explore Brummett's 7 steps of unlimited forgiveness practice. The first thing is to see the need. And ask yourself what happened. Why do I need to forgive? Once I recognize a need to engage forgiveness, I have to figure out then, what is it to forgive? What happened? It's an opportunity to separate the fact from my opinion, embellishment, and perhaps pure fiction. We do make up stuff in our heads to make it a little more creative, exciting, dramatic. We do that, and then we forget. So one of the ways we may try to thwart the purpose of this practice is to just avoid it. We might say, oh, well, it was really nothing. There's really nothing to forgive. Or I may just hold on to that resentment and justify it in my head and go, that person does not deserve forgiveness. I will just keep poisoning myself with it. So if there is some energy around thinking or feeling an event or around a person, there's need to forgive. Any energy indicates. And so, are you willing to go deeper with it, which is the next step? Be willing to forgive. And ask yourself, as we shift that, in this experience, what need of mine was not met? Those of you that have taken a nonviolent communication or compassionate communication class will recognize this question. For those of you that haven't, let me give you this background. We all have needs, right? We all have needs. Maslow has a hierarchy of needs, from biologic survival to spiritual connection. And the theory is that all hurtful behavior arises from fear, And what we fear mostly is that our needs will not be met. In every interaction, there is the potential for us to turn outside to have our needs met. And if our needs are not met, our human experience names it painful. And we don't like the pain. So there has to be a cause that we can blame for it, right? If our needs are not met, our human experience names it painful, and it can be challenging to learn to identify our needs. As any of us present can attest. It's hard to label it, it's hard to name it, it's hard to really say for sure what it is. And yet, it is transformative self-awareness that shines light on a need when we're willing to identify it and to consider, am I willing to initiate action from that then? To do something about it. In his book, Brummett talks about getting in touch with the pain. We may not want to look at forgiveness work, to work out of our fear, to look at the pain for fear that it might hurt us more. It might cause more pain. But that's our ego talking. Ego wants to protect itself. That's part of its job. The part of us with needs is our humanity. And that little self that ego has created and wants to sustain. It's very strong that way. So we benefit from our willingness to acknowledge and accept that there is a need to forgive that takes us to step 3, which is ask for help. Ask yourself, am I willing to move to the truth of me where there is no need? Our divine self has no needs to be met. So the help comes from within. All of my unmet needs exist at the level of my humanity in the manifest world. Just think about that. Where do we live most of the time? Out there in that manifest world? Noticing what's not working for me. So what if I'm willing to claim my divine self, my original self? What if? Then there are no needs. I am whole and complete in that moment of awareness. Brummett describes seeking help by connecting with a higher power. And that power is within you. It's not going anywhere. It is always there. Unity refers to that as the divine essence expressing as us, as our Christ of our being. It is active in me and every other person, whether we recognize it or they know it or not. And this is a critical step in forgiveness. To see the face of God in everyone, right? If we focus on unmet needs, we tend to trap ourselves in those loops of old tapes and those old past experiences that we talked about in self-awareness and self-acceptance. And if we're not using awareness and acceptance, we don't notice that we're stuck in them. So we give our power away to the people and the circumstances outside of us, which we expect to meet our needs. Everyone, all of you, you're supposed to meet my needs. I don't have to be responsible for that, right? So we exhaust ourselves in just judging. And if we seriously want to forgive, the easiest place to do it is from our original self. Duh, right? But we forget. And to know it's an interior process. The 4th step then is to give up condemnation, as was articulated from Anita's blessing this morning. What have I learned then from myself in this experience is where we want to shift to. If I'm willing to give up condemnation, then what do I focus on? What is the gift in this experience? Because every experience is offering something of value. This reframing of the experience, again, is transformational. It leads us away from condemnation to discovery. It encourages us to see no matter what happens in the outer world, no matter what, I have the power to use it to deepen my relationship with the divine and the divine nature I am. Hear the power in that statement. Let me say it again. No matter what happens in the outer world, I have the power to use it to deepen my relationship with the divine and the divine nature I am. I am already whole. Nothing can make me wholer. Make up a new word. Nothing in what I do or what someone else does can damage the wholeness of my original self. Nothing. Yet I can discover what triggers me that causes me to revert to past beliefs and behaviors in this moment of awareness. I can uncover blocks and obstacles to staying centered in living in my original self. Everything I discover and uncover is a gift. A gift I can claim or ignore. My choice creates my next experience. The fifth step is to face or embrace and feel the underlying pain. It takes courage to do that. It's what I teach in grief coaching. We have to feel to heal. There's no way around it but through it. And so, how can I love myself enough to have the courage to do that? The question becomes, what self-care is needed to heal any wounds in my humanity? How do I love myself enough? This might feel like self-empathy in nonviolent communication training, compassionate communication training. It is a part of self-awareness and self-acceptance. It is simply initiating healing. Self-care might be anything from creating what we teach in unity, denial, or release and affirmation statements, to reinforce an image of our original self, to asking for professional help, to working through the layers of judgment and false beliefs that we've created about ourselves and others, because we do that really well. It might be attending to our physical body with nutrition and stress relief, or it might be renewing a commitment to the spiritual practices of meditation and journaling. You design your own self-care, but do it. This practice is self-love, and love does not condemn. It heals. So the sixth step is to know the truth. To ask yourself, am I ready to let go of the tie that binds me to this event? And know the truth within. Now that might sound a little strange. Who wants to be tied up? Who wants to be weighed down? Who doesn't want to be free, right? But consider this, if I am free, I am no longer a victim. When I know the truth, I release myself to know I am no longer a victim. I have no one to blame for all the things I perceive as lacking in me and my life. I can let go of that too. Freedom carries with it the highest level of self-responsibility, which in our humanity, oftentimes we want to avoid. So notice that. Not everyone is ready or willing to move to that level. So blame is a powerful tool ego uses to maintain a limited self-image, which is less than your original self. Tragic. When something happens which we experience as painful, ego looks for someone or something to blame. That's our go-to thing, right? So even when we blame ourselves, we do it creating a damaging, and we damage our self-image, which is less than our original self. Would we do that intentionally? I don't think so. So even when we do it on behalf of others, because we do that too, blaming something for the misery of others, we create a limited self-image of others, which is less than their original selves. For many, the anthropomorphic God that we have created in our minds is a scapegoat. Unity has no image of God as a being that designs and manipulates, giving and withholding on whims. There is only the one power we either connect with or not. There is only the divinity we claim or not. So blaming God is not an option in fundamental unity principle understanding. We are also not waiting for God to forgive us. Many of us not only set up God as an outside entity controlling us, but we also give that outside God powers to love or withhold love, to judge and to forgive. Think about that. Have you been doing that unintentionally? The unity God, which is love, cannot withhold, does not judge, and therefore cannot forgive. It is our ability to release our own judgment, which we may attribute to God, which allows us to forgive others. Remember, releasing judgment is not abandoning the power of discernment, but letting go of condemnation. Can I see how I would like to show up differently and let go of the belief that outer behavior damages my original self? Can you do that? And verse after verse, the great psychologist Jesus points out, the measure we give is the measure we receive. We must love others as ourselves first. We love ourselves. If we cannot accept others, forgive and let go of judging ourselves. There is little hope we can accept, forgive, or let go of the judgments of others until we do. You know, my older son Ryan was so angry and so caught up in revenge after his younger brother was murdered. It was obsessed with him, and it scared me to watch that. But when he was finally able to recognize that revenge was hurting him and it was not the way, that it was only hurting him, he was able to let that go and find a way forward. What I cannot forgive is a wound within my humanity that cannot heal. Can we let go of the ties that bind us to believe about ourselves as less than our original self? Can we let them go? Can you do that? It takes us to the last step, where we ask, am I at peace? Am I at peace? The last question is the one that tells us when we have finished with a specific element of forgiveness work. Brummett has this step 7 listed as, if I am not at peace, repeat steps 1 through 6. The question, am I at peace, tells me whether I have to go back to step 1 or not. Forgiveness is often not a once and done deal. It's a process. It's a like peeling off the layers, especially really deep, painful ones. New experiences can stir up old wounds, and the pain we feel today is not related to only the experience that we're reflecting on, but the similar experiences, all the way back sometimes to our primal childhood wounds that can get triggered. Forgiveness is peeling away the layers of the cloaks of our humanity that we have piled up. We've done a really good job of piling up on our original self. And when we can peel them off, our original self then shines brighter and brighter. And we become more aware of it and more comfortable with it. And we can find clues to whether or not I'm at peace. Do I still feel the need to tell the story as a victim? Either about the wrong done to me or how awful I was or am. Is there still energy when I think that this person or consider a past experience? Is there still energy around it? It's like that Zen story of the 2 monks. And monks take a vow to not touch women. And these monks were going along, they came to a river, and there was a woman standing there that was afraid to cross the river. And so the one monk said, I will carry you across. And he did. And then they dropped her and they kept walking. And the other monk, for an hour, was just condemning him. How could you have done that? You know it's breaking the vows and you can't do that. And he finally said, I dropped her at the river an hour ago. You're still carrying her. Do we do that to ourselves? So if I'm not at peace, yet I accept this is where I am at, just accept it. I acknowledge the work I've done and I repeat my process. I am patient with myself. I love myself. I'm at peace. If I'm at peace, I feel no need to do anything further. Concluding, we begin these practices with self-awareness and self-acceptance. In both of those steps, we begin to know our original self and all the clutter we have created that gets in the way of living every day from the consciousness of our original self. Unlimited forgiveness. Over and over again, we choose to let go of the ways we have judged and condemned ourselves and others for not meeting the expectations and needs of humanity, of our humanity. We claim and reclaim the freedom of self-responsibility. We claim and reclaim again and again the power of our original self to be an expression of love. There's a line from a favorite song in Unity, "Here I am, Lord." And it's a phrase being spoken by the universe that says, "I will break their hearts of stone, give them hearts for love alone." Fearless, unlimited forgiveness invites the breaking of any part of my heart which has turned to stone, and allows more and more of my heart and my conscious awareness to hold only love. As we move through each stage of our lives, through each season, through each holiday, through each event, each year, I invite you to practice fearless, unlimited forgiveness and claim a heart for love alone. For you, for me, for Unity of South Sound, for all of humanity. Namaste.
We want to thank all of you who are joining us for the first time here or online. Thank you for sharing your consciousness and your love with us. Also, we have a welcome packet on the back table of the sanctuary, and we also encourage you to sign our guest book that's also on that table with the packets, and so that we can get in touch with you. If it's your second time with us, welcome back, and if you've been with us for a long time now, welcome home. So to all our friends, we want to share our Unity blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. At this time, we'd like to prepare for our love offering and invite Christina to prepare for her next song. This is the time in our service when we get to share of our financial blessings with our community. There are many easy ways to do this. You can give through our Facebook page by clicking on the donation button at the top right. It's easy and secure. You can call our office, you can mail it to us, or if you're here in person, there are offering envelopes in the backs of the pews, and there's also an offering plate on the back table of the sanctuary. Whichever way we make our tithes, we hold these love offerings in our hands or in our hearts and affirm this together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving, and we are truly blessed. Amen.
time for me to let go of my shame, the past behind me. I see anew, said I'm ready for my change. Yes, I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. Said I'm ready for my change. Yes. Said I'm ready for my change. I forgive them. I forgive them. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. Yes, I surrender. I said I'm ready for my change. Hey, hey, hey. I said I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. Yes, I surrender. I said I'm ready for my change. Yeah. I said I'm ready for my change. Hey, I'm ready for my change.
Wow, talk about perfect song choices this morning. Thank you, Christina, and thank you to our Unity Band. First, I'd like to invite Reverend Megan up for a special blessing.
Today is the second Sunday of March, and the second Sunday of every month, we want to acknowledge the sacred service of someone in our community. And this month, we had selected Rosie Rourke, and I don't believe she's here today. I know that she wasn't really feeling very well, and so we still wanted to acknowledge her, and we will save this for her when she's able to come. We have a certificate to honor her and a rose that symbolizes her spiritual unfoldment. And I just think that she may be watching online, so I'd like to do a blessing for Rosie, and then we'll do it again when she's here in person. So Rosie, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. And for those of you that don't know, she has been holding together the Usher Greeter team and carrying a very sweet load in the pandemic and the process of bringing it back. And so we really honor her time and her commitment and her love. Can I have Misty or Diane, were you going to talk about service ministry? No. Okay, so we have a testimonial because we really want to bring awareness that there are great opportunities for you to be of sacred service to this ministry. We cannot be what we are without you. And so finding a way to share your gifts is a blessing to all of us. And we have some great opportunities to serve in our Usher Greeter team, which we see evolving in this next year. So those of you that had volunteered to give a brief testimonial just to share why serving in that way is a blessing. Come. Where's the microphone? Joey had the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
He confiscated it.
You want to go first? Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Julie Webb, and it's a joy and an honor to be an usher or a greeter here at Unity. It was one of the first baby steps I ever took in volunteer work when I first came to the church. And it's a very important one because you're the first face that someone new sees when you come in that door, when they come in the door. And in some ways, it's like being the little duckling that comes out of the egg. They bond with the first face they see. So it's very important that you are a friendly representation of the church and the church family that that you hope they become a part of. For the details of the job, we have a wonderful binder that Rosie put together, and it gives guidelines for what your duties are, and they're simple but profound at the same way. So we invite you to join the team.
Thank you, Julie. My name is Steve Ryan, and the ushers and greeters, or the greeters, was one of the first teams that I started on. I'm kind of a shy introvert, so meeting people was kind of a hard thing to do. Then I found out that I could be out front there and greet everybody who came through the door. And if you've never been around such a wonderful, receptive group of people, it's all the people that come through here. And if you get to say hello and good morning to everybody who comes through here, it's a good way to start your day. And so that's how it works for me. I hope it works the same in reverse as we welcome in everybody who comes through the doors and make this a place that is comfortable and enjoyable for all of us, especially the people who are here for the first time or new people, just to allow them to get oriented to who we are and what it is we do. And so if you have the chance, I encourage you to look at joining the greeters. It's a great way to start in service here at Unity.
Thank you, both of you. And there is a sign-up. You can find a sign-up for any of our teams on the Sunday table. You can always call the office and ask. We do have sacred service coordinators, Misty and Diane, that will reach out to you and help you get oriented and trained. And we are going to actually have our quarterly gathering of our teams on March 26th after service. So it may be a good time to check out the teams and time to ask questions. We're going to meet upstairs above Wesley Hall. So thank you for all of you for being a sacred presence in our ministry.
I too started as an usher greeter. We have a few announcements to highlight this morning, but you can check out everything that's going on here at Unity of South Sound by subscribing to our e-blast. You can go to the homepage, click on the newsletter sign up button, and fill out your contact info, and your info will be safe and secure on our site. Next Sunday, we will continue our Sunday service based on the book Living Originally by Robert Brummett. We want you to know that you can download weekly worksheets from our e-blast each Thursday, and then you can preview it before the Sunday service. And we will also have printed copies on the back table of the sanctuary. Join us in this empowering 6-week series of practices as our preparation for Easter's awakening. In preparation for Easter, we will be holding a special candlelight communion service on Thursday, April 6th at 7 p.m. here at the Spire. And we hope you will join us for this new special service. Our Easter celebration will be held the following Sunday, April 9th. As part of this special service, we will be holding our traditional flower ceremony with a few enhancements. We will also have an Easter egg hunt immediately following the service for children, and we can't wait for you to celebrate with us. And speaking of, let's welcome in our children.
All right, so we had a really fun classroom today. I know I did with these children. We did talk about forgiveness, and we read the book, The Little Soul and the Sun. And the soul comes to earth to experience himself as forgiveness. And so we read that, and then we talked about when we're mad at somebody or when somebody's mad at us, how that feels and how forgiveness feels. Do you want to talk about youth and teens? Nope. So we had youth in every single classroom today, which was so exciting. Yes, it was so exciting. Do you want to talk about YOU? No? Okay.
Yeah, so most of our YOU are down in Portland this weekend. 3 of our YOUers were selected to be kids camp counselors for the upcoming kids camp this summer. They apparently had a great weekend, and they're heading back up here, leaving around 12:30. So they all plan, and they pick like names for themselves, and there's a whole lot of fun involved in the planning as well as the execution of the kids camp. We didn't have one the last couple of summers with the pandemic, so we're really excited to get everybody out to kids camp again this summer. And we talked about forgiveness in our small YOU group as well.
All right, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Let's bless our youth that are here and elsewhere. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. And we welcome the parents of the young children up to the front, and we welcome all of you to stand as you're able and join with Joey in singing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace and harmony. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. All is well. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Sunday, same time, same place.